What is going on, you wonderful thought-having people? As always, I'm Cajun. Yep, just about said my name was Cajun. That's what final weeks will do to you folks. But as always, I'm Jake, and let's get right into this. So, as I was halfway through a script about Chapter 13 of Final Fantasy 15, and I'll let you guys have your own opinions about that, I hopped onto Twitter to see that Neil Druckmann, the creative director of The Last of Us Part 2, had tweeted out a clearer picture of Ellie's tattoo that we got to see a few glimpses of in the trailer. So, of course, I have to look way too deep into what the symbolism of that moth means. You know what you signed up for. But before I get into that, take a look at this picture. Yep, that picture came out in September as part of the Outbreak Day celebration for The Last of Us, and notice any similarities? I think Naughty Dog teased The Last of Us Part 2 before any of us even knew it. Of course, there was no way for us to know what that was at the time, but it is nice to see we were getting clues all along. Okay, back to the actual tattoo. I looked for nearly an hour this morning to try and find the actual species of that moth, but sadly no luck. But I'm not sure if it matters, and here's why. Moth motifs are rich with symbolism and meaning way below the surface, so much that I'll probably miss quite a bit of it in this video. But we all know moths go through a metamorphosis to gain the power of flight. It is very similar to a butterfly's life cycle in that they begin as a larva, which is commonly referred to as a caterpillar, then they go into a cocoon, and finally emerge as a magnificent winged creature. Because of this process of change, moths have become an often cited symbol for transformation. And as we have seen in this trailer, Ellie has changed. In fact, here's a still to compare her with her 13 to 14-year-old self. Sure, the new one is just concept art, but even going by the trailer, Ellie looks leaner and meaner. She has herself transformed, much like the moth that now adorns her arm. Another funny coincidence, or it's probably not a coincidence, I don't know why I said that, but the tattoo covers where Ellie was bitten on her forearm by one of the infected. She is immune, obviously, so she did not go through that particular transformation, but she has gone through another one. And as of right now, we have no idea what spurred that change in her. It could have been started because Joel, her partner in crime, was murdered. And I already did a video over that, so be sure to watch that one after we get through the rest of this moth symbolism. And speaking of that, here's the next piece of metaphorical information that could apply to Ellie's sick new ink. Moths, like a lot of nocturnal insects, are drawn to sources of light. There's no concrete reason why moths are attracted to lights, but it is believed to be because it confuses them because they did not evolve around really bright lights at night. And because of that, moths use the only light they knew to navigate, which was the moon. Now, since street lamps and porch lights are all over the world, we see moths trying to navigate around them by just banging into them over and over. So getting back to Ellie, if we assume she is hunting the fireflies so she can, quote, kill every last one of them, then maybe this moth symbolizes her attraction to that group. The thing is, I'm sure everyone has heard the saying, like a moth to a flame. This idiom describes the actions of someone who is going recklessly after a goal, even at the risk of harming themselves or others. This piece of symbolism is where I'm going to put my money at. I think Ellie has done something really bad in her pursuit of safety or whatever else she has tried to achieve in the 5 years between The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, and somehow the Fireflies were involved. Now she is drawn like a moth to a flame for her goal of decimating the entire organization. Of course, I could be wrong and all this may just be about transformation or something else entirely, but I think this theory fits in pretty well and it kind of syncs up with the other theory that Joel is dead. I may do a video in the future where I combine the two theories into one, but I'm going to wait a little while because I believe this is 3 theory videos in a row. And be sure to check out that video where I go over the Joel is dead theory right after this one to make sure you know what I'm talking about. So what do you think of that tattoo? Are you going to go out and get one just like it after this? I've actually heard of people doing that already. But be sure to tell me your thoughts on this moth tattoo theory as well as anything about The Last of Us Part 2 down below. And I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you enjoyed this video, you know what you have to do. Hit that like button for me, and if you're new here, why not subscribe? I put out a video every single day, so if you want to be caught up on all the latest The Last of Us Part 2 news, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. And again, I'm going to go ahead and throw this Joel is dead theory video up here. Make sure you go watch that because it really syncs up with this video nicely. But I think that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, give thought to everything.